On this day in Seventh Day Adventist history, January 29, 1827, Joseph Bates was at the home of Dan Palmer in Jackson, Michigan in 1852. Merritt Cornell, a First Day Adventist preacher, and his wife Angeline were induced, though with reluctance, to go hear him. When first arriving at the home, Angeline stayed outside with the horse because they both felt it would only take a couple of minutes for Cornell to straighten out this minister and they would be on their way again. Angeline waited, and she waited, and she waited, until finally she tied up the horse and entered the house. After an hour or two of exposition, the Cornells were back against their stubborn wall of prejudice. A meeting was appointed the next evening where, for a 3.5-hour Bible study, they were finally convinced. When at last they took up their journey, they drove towards Angeline's father's house, 18 miles west of Detroit. Nearing there, Cornell saw an Adventist brother, John Preston Kellogg, raking hay. Cornell stopped his buggy, jumped the fence, and delivered the message of the Seventh-day Adventist Sabbath to him. Driving on, he met a neighbor on the road and preached to him also. Finally, when they reached Angeline's father, Henry Lyon, Cornell delivered the message to him also. Kellogg and Lyon would go on to become two of the four men that gave the money in 1855 to bring the Review and Herald to Battle Creek. Cornell would become an evangelist for the Sabbatarian Adventist Church. In May of 1854, Cornell was helping elders White and Loughborough with evangelism in Locke, Michigan. Their meetings were being held in a schoolhouse. The attendance was so great that the two buildings the size of the school would not have held everybody in the crowd. A window was taken out and a pulpit was placed in that empty space. Thus, they were able to preach to those sitting in the building, plus all those sitting outside on the grass and in their wagons and carriages. The next talk began on the feasibility of holding tent meetings. Within 2 weeks, not only would Cornell be in a position to purchase the first Sabbatarian Adventist tent in Rochester, New York, but would, with John Loughborough, become the first tent evangelist for the church in 1854. On this day, January 29, 1827, Merritt Cornell was born in Chile, New York.